Job hunt is about to change forever for job seeker, for career changers, for anyone that is using their career to escape their current situation. Now, the good news is there are a bunch of new ways to win that weren't possible before. I know this because I spent all day on the cutting edge of workforce transformation and career development. I have helped many people transition into high paying roles. I have seen 60 to 100K in salary increase, and I'm starting to see trends and patterns that are not obvious to average job seeker that are massive opportunities. If you don't know who I am, my name is Yvonne Zhang. I grew up in China, moved to Canada alone at 16, and I started my career as a data analyst, stuck at a 60K payroll. Last year, within a month, I was able to break into tech sales and start making six figures, and now I help others to do the same. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 8 biggest job market and career shift that I see coming over the next few years based on groundbreaking research from Oxford University and workforce analysis. I will break down both strategy and the exact tactics that you can use to take advantage right now, even if you hate your current job and wants to break into something that pay way more. So shift number 1, from foundation skill to human-centric capabilities. This is the shift based on fourth industrial revolution, from functional skills to human-centric capabilities. Let me explain what I mean. Research shows we're experiencing 3 interconnected changes: individual intelligent evolution, corporate positioning transformation, and the fundamental restructuring of what capabilities humans need to survive and thrive. In the previous era, most job seekers focus on their resume interview on functional skills like technical knowledge, software proficiency, industry-specific experience, and certification. They have their resume listing all their technical ability, and they approach job hunts like skill matching game where you need to check every boxes in the job description. The whole approach I just described was kind of the core job search strategy in the previous industrial era. Many job seekers still following this functional skill playbook, but the employers on the cutting edge today are looking for something completely different based on the fourth industrial revolution analysis. I call it human-centric capability approach to career positioning. Here's how it works. The research identifies that individual capability consists of 3 main components: functional skills, operational skills, and competence. But here's the key insight. People will focus primarily on operational skills and competence in the digital age rather than just functional skills. When I say functional skills, they are your technical skills like knowing Salesforce, understanding sales processes, and product knowledge. Operational skills, they are how you apply functional skills in the real situation, like complex problem solving, system analysis, and coordination. Competence, they are your underlying human capability, creative thinking, social perspective, and learning strategy. Every job seeker still need basic functional skills. You can't fake knowing like how to use CRMs. But these functional skills are actually just a heck fake. They're not what gets you hired for high paying roles. They're just an entry ticket. The real sauce with the new approach is that every high earning professional will need to master operating skills, and these are human capability that create values in the age of AI. Since I come from the tech sales background and I hope most people break into tech sales, so here's a concrete example. Let's say you're trying to break into software sales from retail management, making like 50K and wanting to get to 100K. So the old approach, like which is functional skills focus, you will spend months learning about Salesforce, studying about sales methodology, and memorizing product features. The new approach is human-centric capability. You will focus on demonstrating the operational skills, your competence that you develop in retails. For example, operational skills, complex problem when dealing with customer inquiry, rejection, right? Your system evaluation for time management, coordination skills managing multiple departments, Competence, social perspectiveness, reading customer emotion, creative thinking, solving unique customer problem, and learning strategy for mastering new products quickly. Instead of just talking about how your new CRM knowledge, you should demonstrate your human-centric capability. For example, in retails, I developed a system for analyzing customers' behavior patterns, coordinating cross-functional teams during peak season, and creatively solve problems that didn't have standard procedure. These are the capability to apply to manage complex enterprise sales cycle. Then the hiring manager will realize this person actually have human capability that cannot be automated. They can think strategically, work with people, and also solve novel problems. That's worth 100K plus in tech sales. So the opportunity here is so you can first map out your existing operational skills and competence to high value business contexts. And you can also use AI, right, to collaborate. This is how you can position yourself for roles that leverage human capability along with AI. The Oxford University Skills Revolution. So this research is from the Future of Skills Employment in 2030 that analyze exactly what capability the job market will reward most highly. The researcher from Oxford University in the UK analyzed individual capability based on data from ONET analysts in the US. They define individual capability as 3 categories: skills, knowledge, and abilities. Total of 120 types. Based on these characteristics of each capability, they analyze its relationship with future social demand. Here is the game-changing data. For US, here are the top 10 skills. Skill number 1, learning strategy skills. So in the tech sales context, it's your ability to quickly master new products, market, and customer need. So in the interview setting or in the application setting, you can say something. You can position yourself as someone that develop a system for learning new software platform that help you proficiently to learn about 5 different CRM systems in 6 months. Skill number 2, psychology knowledge. Understanding and knowledge of human behavior psychology. Tech sales application. You understand what motivates buying decision. Example, I use behavioral psychology principle to identify when prospects are ready to buy versus when they need more nurturing. 3, instruction skills. Skills for teaching method to others. Tech sales application, you can train customer and internal teams. Example, I break down complex internal concept for non-technical buyers and train new team member on best practices. 4, social perspectiveness skills. Skills to identify others' reaction and understanding their positions. Tech sales application, you read buying committee dynamics. Example, I can identify real decision making in the room and adapt my presentation based on each stakeholder's concern. 5, sociology anthropology knowledge, understanding human culture and knowledge. Tech sales application, your native different tech sales application, you navigate different corporate culture and international market. Example, I understand how different company culture approach technology adaptation and can adjust my sales approach accordingly. 6, education and training knowledge. Knowledge of educational effectiveness and training method. Tech sales application. You can design customer onboarding and training program. Example, I create training program that ensure customer success and reduce churn. 7, coordination skills. Skills for coordinating and harmonizing with others' performance. Tech sales application. You manage complex sales process with multiple stakeholders. Example, legal, I coordinate between technical team, legal, procurement, and end user to move the deal forward. 8, originality ability. Creative exploration and problem-solving uniqueness. Tech sales application, you continuously expand your expertise. Example, I actively seek out new industry knowledge and can quickly become conversant in new market segments. Now, before I continue, let's address that something very critical. Its fundamental comes down to the point that you have no way of knowing if you're positioning yourself correctly for the high-paying roles. The best way to learn about career transition is by studying research like Oxford data and then applying what you have learned, but then getting feedback when you try something. For example, if you're learning piano, this would be listening to what you have played and seeing where you went wrong and where you went right. The same thing with learning a language. You attempt to speak the language and then you get feedback on exactly where you did wrong. But with the nuanced skills like career positioning and personal branding, this isn't a clear path of knowing where you did wrong. Sure, you realize you didn't get any interview or job offers, but you don't know exactly what made the hiring manager pass on you. You're then stuck with trial and error, constantly applying to jobs and try to figure out for yourself why your application aren't working. And though that can eventually work, it's clearly not the most efficient ways to transition careers. So that's why I created Ripple Effect. I'm an expert in helping people escape jobs that they hate and then land the job that pays them 2 to 3x more. I help many people make the transition already, and I have cracked the code of positioning yourself for high-paying roles even without traditional experience. When I saw there was no program out there teaching you how to position yourself using these research-backed capability and then personally review your positioning to tell you what you did wrong and what you should do next time, I have to create a program. Inside Ripple Effect, this is exactly what we do. We teach you how to position yourself for high-paying roles using exact Oxford University research I just shared with you. And this is an extend training that goes through everything I know about capability-based positioning that worth over $5,000. But that's not where the true value lies. The true value is in the feedback and mentorship. Every single week, we review the positioning material you created that week, your LinkedIn profile, your interview, your capability demonstration. We tell you what you did wrong and what you need to do next time. So my friend, if you want to join Ripple Effect and finally escape the job you hate, the link is in the description below. We'll put you in a community of people trying to do similar things like you, and we'll give you research-backed strategy to actually do it. Coming to the top 10 UK skills that they see that is relevant by 2030. Number 1, judgment and decision-making skills. Decision-making ability. Tech sales application. You make strategic decision about deals progression and research allocation. Second, fluency of ideas ability. Fluency in generating ideas. Tech sales application, similar like US number 9, rapid solution generation. Number 3, active listening skills, skills for continuously expanding domain and taking responsibility. Tech sales application is same as the US number 10, continuously expertise expansion. Skill number 4, learning strategy skills. Learning strategy capability. Application is the same as number 1 in the US side. Systematic learning approaches. Number 5, originality ability. Creative and innovative problem solving ability. Tech sales application, same as the one from US 8. Creative customer solution. 6, systems evaluation skills. Systematically evaluate skills for achieving organization's goal. Tech sales application. You can access and improve sales process and customer system. 7, deductive reasoning ability. Logical reasoning ability for problem solving. Tech sales application. You can analyze customer data and market trend to make logical recommendation. 8, complex problem solving skills. Skills for understanding and solving complex problem and developing solution. Tech sales application. You can handle multifaceted customer challenges that requires comprehensive solutions. 9, system analysis skills. Skills for analyzing system and components. Tech sales application. You can analyze customers' existing technology stack and identify integration opportunity. 10, monitoring skills. skills for monitoring and evaluating information and performance. Tech sales application. You can track deals progress, customer health, and market change to optimize performance. The key insight here, both for US and UK research, shows that skills and ability ranks much higher than knowledge. The demand for domain-specific knowledge appears less frequently. When skills and ability related to learning, creativity, social interaction while socials and ability related to learning, creativity, and social interaction dominate the list. So what does it mean for your career transition? If you're trying to break into tech sales from another field, don't get stuck thinking you need years of industry knowledge. The Oxford research proved that learning ability, creative thinking, and social skills are more valuable than industry experience. So here's a tactic play. First, audit against the list. Compare your current capability to both US and UK top 10 lists. Second, identify your strength. Find which of these 20 capabilities you already possess from your current role. Third, build evidence portfolio. Create specific example of using these capabilities to create results. 4. Translate to tech sales. So show how each capability solve expensive problem in sales context. Shift number 3, creative thinking and originality. Number 3, job market shift number 3, focus on creative thinking and originality. And this comes directly from Oxford research showing originality ability that rank number 8 in US and number 5 in UK. The research defined this as creative exploration and problem solving uniqueness and creative and innovation problem solving ability. Here's why this is massive opportunity. In a society that is continuously pursue creativity and realize new value, originality and imagination are indispensable components. But here's what most people miss out about creativity in business context. It's not about being artistic. It's about finding unique approaches to common problems that create measurable values. The 3 types of creative thinking that plays in tech sales. Type 1, problem reframing. Take a common challenge and look at it from a completely different angle. For example, you can come from restaurant management to tech sales. Traditional thinking, I need to learn about software. Creative thinking, restaurant management taught me to optimize complex systems with multiple moving parts under pressure, the same skill needed to optimize a customer's business process with software solution. Type 2, solution innovation, combining existing idea in new ways to create novel approaches. Example, you take your experience managing restaurant staff turnover and create a customer retention predictability model for SaaS company based on early warning sign you learn to identify in employees' behavior. Type 3, value creation, finding new ways to generate new value from existing resources or situations. Example, you can use your understanding of restaurant profitability. You can use your understanding of restaurant profit margin to help SaaS prospect calculate ROI in ways that they haven't considered, turning cost conversation into value conversation. Real-world application framework, situation analysis. What is the standard approach everyone else is using? Assumption challenge. What assumption can you question or flip? Resource recombination. How can you combine your unique background with the new context? Value demonstration. How does your creative approach create measurable business value? So here's a concrete example. You say you are transitioning from teaching to enterprise software sales. Everyone else focus on learning sales techniques. While everyone else focus on learning sales techniques, your creative thinking, your creative approach, you recognize that enterprise software adoption is essentially adult education at scale. You can be like, you develop a learning adoption framework that help customer implement software using educational psychology principle. When you interview, don't just say, I was a teacher. You can say, I developed framework for helping X adapt Y based on adult learning principle. And here's the industry source. Most software implementation fails because companies treat software adoption like training instead of education. So some KPI that you can really use to leverage to stand out, it's like my approach of X increased user adoption rates because it addressed the psychological barriers to change. The creative thinking is worth 100K in enterprise sales because you're solving expensive problem of software adoption failure. The opportunity. Every background have unique elements that can be creatively applied to business problem. The key is developing the ability to see connection others miss and articulate how those connects create values. Shift number 4, social perspectiveness and coordination, the human connection advantage. The fourth shift is social perspectiveness and coordination, and this appears in multiple forms across Oxford research. Social perspectiveness skills. Number 4 in US, coordination skill, number 7 US, and the research defined social perspectiveness as skills to identify others, reactions, and understand their position, and coordinate skills as skills for coordinating, harmonizing with others' performance. Here is why this matters. In the age of digital communication and remote work, the ability to read human dynamic and coordinate complex relationships has become more valuable and not less valuable. 4 levels of social skills that command premium salaries. Level 1, individual readings, understanding which one person is really thinking and feeling beyond what they're saying. Take sales example. In a buying committee meeting, you identify that the CFO and the CTO have different priorities. You address both concerns simultaneously by showing how the technical solution creates financial benefits. Level 3, organization politics. Understanding how formal and informal power structure affects decision making. Take sales example. You adapt your sales approach based on whether you're selling to a startup, fast decision risk tolerant, versus an organization that has been around for a long time. The opportunity. If you have worked in any roles require you to read people and coordinate groups like hospitality, education, healthcare, or project management, you have developed social perspectiveness and coordination skills worth over 100K in the right business context. Shift number 5. The 5th shift is psychological knowledge and human behavior mastery. And this comes directly from Oxford research ranked psychology knowledge as number 2 in the US list, defined as understanding and knowledge of human behavior. Here is what makes the shift so powerful. While everyone else is focused on learning technical skills, the research proves that understanding human psychology is becoming one of the most valuable business capability. But here's what most people get wrong. They think psychology knowledge means having a degree in psychology. What the research actually shows is that practical understanding of how humans think, make decisions, and behave is becoming essential for high-paying roles. The psychology framework for tech sales success. Cognitive psychology, how people process information and make decisions. Application, understanding how prospects evaluate complex software purchase. Example, you know that people can only compare 3 to 4 options effectively, so you position your solution against 2 key competitors rather than overwhelming them with market comparison. Social psychology, how people are influenced by others in social situations. Application, leveraging social proof and authority in sales process. You can share case study from similar companies and arrange calls with existing customers to prove social validation. Behavioral psychology, what motivates people to take action. Application, Understanding the psychological triggers that drive purchasing decision. Example, you can recognize the fear of making the wrong decision often outweighs desire for improvement, so you focus on risk mitigation rather than just benefit. Organizational psychology, how group dynamics and culture affects decision making. Application, navigating complex buying committee and corporate politics. Example, you understand that consensus building culture require different approaches than top-down decision-making culture. So say you're transitioning from retail management, making 45K, to enterprise software sales, trying to make 125K. The traditional approach is learn about software, right? Learn about sales. But the psychology-based approach here is leverage your deep understanding of consumer psychology and apply it to B2B context. In retails, you learn loss aversion, customer fears of making wrong choices more than they desire for making right ones. Social proof, people look to others' behavior to guide the decision. Authority bias, people defer to perceived experts. Scarcity psychology, limited availability increase perceived value. Anchoring effect, first price mentioned influence all subsequent price perceptions. In your tech sales interview, you can be like, retail taught me that people don't buy products, they buy solution to psychological need. A customer buying expensive jeans isn't just buying clothing, they're buying confidence, status, or identity. The same psychology applied to B2B software. A CTO isn't just buying a platform, they are buying career security, team efficiency, and competitive advantage. Understanding these psychological motivations helps me position solutions in ways that resonate with the real decision drivers. Advanced psychology application. Prospect profiling. Using psychological framework to understand individual buyers type. Analytical buyers, they need data and logical argument. Driver buyers want bottom line result and quick decision. Expressive buyers respond to visions and social proof. Amiable buyer need consensus and risk mitigation. Objection psychology, understanding the psychological root of common objections. It's too expensive often means I don't see enough value, or I'm afraid of making a mistake, or I'm not a real decision maker. It's not the right time often means I don't trust that this will work, or I have other priorities. The opportunity. Every job involves understanding human behavior, but most people don't recognize or articulate these expertise. If you can demonstrate sophisticated understanding of psychology and human behavior, you can command premium salary because you're solving the most expensive business problem, getting people to make decisions and take action. Shift number 6. Learning strategy and advice learning, the continuous capability development. The 6th shift is learning strategies and active learning. This appears as number 1 in US research and number 3 and 4 in the UK research. This isn't just about being willing to learn. It's about having the systematic method for learning that create competitive advantage. The research defined this as learning strategy and method for educational events and skills for continuously expanding domains and taking responsibility. But here's the key insights. As capability-related items change with times, this means that the capability individuals should possess are constantly changing. The research emphasized we need to constantly refine our ability not only through educational, but through practical social living experience. We need to constantly refine our ability throughout our lives. To achieve this goal, the importance of continuous education will far exceed the present. Strategic learning framework for career advancement. Phase 1, learning system design. Create repeatable knowledge. Creating repeatable method for acquiring new knowledge. Phase 2, Experimental application, testing knowledge in real-world situation. Phase 3, network learning. Learn from others who master what you're trying to learn. Continuously improve your approach based on results. Here are the concrete examples. If you're transitioning from customer service, making 40K, to tech sales, trying to make 90 to 100K. Traditional learning approach. Take a sales bootcamp, get certificate in Salesforce, and read sales book. Strategic learning approach. You create a framework for rapid understanding new industry. Week 1, industry research and trend analysis. Week 2, customer interview and pain point identification. Week 3, competitive landscape mapping. Week 4, solution positioning and messaging development. Experimental application. Instead of just reading about sales, you start a side project selling consulting service to small businesses, applying your learning system to understand their needs and develop solution. Network learning. You connect with successful tech sales professionals and document their strategy, creating a knowledge-based proof approaches. Systematic refinement. You track which learning method produced the best results and continuously optimize your approaches. The active learning advantage. The research show active learning skills as skills for continuously expanding domains and taking responsibility. This means taking ownership of your learning rather than waiting for others to teach you. Active learning in practice. Instead of waiting for sales training, you analyze successful sales call and identify patterns. Create your own role-playing scenario based on real customer situation. Seek feedback from prospects and customer to understand what works. Experiment with different approaches and measure results. Active learning in practice. Instead of waiting for sales training, you analyze successful sales call and identify patterns. Create your own role-play scenario based on real customer situation. Seek feedback from prospect and customer to understand what works. Experiment different approaches and measure results. So in the interview, don't just say I'm a quick learner. You demonstrate your learning system. I develop a systematic approach for mastering new domains quickly. When I need to understand the healthcare industry for a project, I use my learning framework. I interview 15 healthcare professionals to understand their challenges, analyze 50 healthcare companies to identify patterns, and create a decision-making models based on their priorities. This system helped me become conversant in healthcare's business model within 30 days, and I can apply the same approach to rapid understanding your customers and market. The continuous learning. The research emphasized that we must also continuously update individual capability as entity for human AI collaboration. This means your learning strategy needs to focus on capabilities that complement AI, not compete with it. So AI complementary learning focus. Creative problem solving. AI can analyze data, but human creates novel solution. Social dynamics. AI can process information, but human navigate complex relationships. Contextual judgment. AI can follow rules, but human make decision in ambiguous situation. Adaptive communication. AI can generate content, but human can read at real time and adapt based on situation. The opportunity, but the research shows that continuous capability development is becoming essential for career security and advancement. If you make strategic learning a core part of your professional identity, you will be ahead of the curve and command premium compensation. The seventh shift is complex problem solving and system thinking, which appears a lot in the UK research, ranked number 8 and number 9, along with number 6. The research defines these as complex problem solving, skills for understanding and solving complex problem and development solution. Here's why this shift is critical. As the business becomes more interconnected and technology dependent, the ability to understand and optimize complex systems becomes extremely valuable. So in the interview, you can be like, restaurant management taught me to think in system. A successful restaurant isn't just good food or good service. It's an integrated system where kitchen timing, server efficiency, inventory turnover, and customer experience all together. When one component fails, it affects everything else. I can apply the same system thinking to help customer understand how software solutions need to integrate with their existing process, people, and goals to create optimal business outcome. The opportunity here is most salespeople sell individual products or feature. If you can demonstrate system thinking and complex problem-solving ability, you can become a strategic advisor rather than just a vendor. Strategic advice commands premium compensation because they solve expensive, complex business problems that creates significant value. The eighth shift might surprise you. Care ejection capability in business context. The research mentioned that jobs like pet care specialist, wellness therapy, caregiving, and domestic worker will have a significant demand because they require specialized skills that aren't easily automated. But here's the business application most people miss. The same care capability that makes these roles automation resistant also makes certain business roles extremely high paying, especially in tech sales and customer success. What care capability looks like in high-paying business role. The research emphasized that these care professional requires specialized skills that involve deep human understanding, personalized attention, and adaptive problem solving. These same capability translate directly to premium business roles. So your interview positioning could be, as a wellness therapy, I learned that sustainable results require understanding of each human's unique situation, building trust through difficult conversation, and maintaining long-term relationships that evolve over time. I help clients navigate complex health challenges by listening carefully, asking the right question, and adapting my approach based on their progress and changing needs. This same capability applies to customer success management. I can access each customer's unique business situation, build trust during challenging implementation, and maintain long-term relationships that drive expansion and renewal. My care background taught me to focus on human elements that determine whether business relationships succeed or failed. So the opportunity here is, if you work in any roles that require genuine care for others, healthcare, education, social service, hospitality, or childcare, you have developed the capability that are becoming extremely valuable in business setting. The key is translating your care experience into business language and demonstrating its value in revenue generating roles. The bottom line is, the job market is changing faster than most people realize. The research from Oxford University proves that human-centric capability, creative thinking, social skills, psychology knowledge, learning ability, and systematic thinking are becoming the most valuable assets in the economy. If you're stuck in a job that you hate, making less money than you desire, this research-backed roadmap shows you exactly how to escape. Focus on developing these future-proof capabilities. Learn to articulate them in business language and position yourself for roles that pay 2 to 3x what you're making now. The reset is coming, and now you have the resources to guide you for your preparation. These ain't just trends, they are scientifically validated predictions about what capability will command premium salary in the future economy.